Hello, ladies and gents. It's Kyle Thompson here with eXp Realty, bringing you another market update for Kamloops. And this week we're going to be covering single-family dwellings. Let's jump right into it. At a glance, last month we had 186 new listings, 77 new sales. The average list price was $753,357. The average sale price was $738,523. The sales to list price ratio came in at 97.93%. Average days on market was just shy of 40, and we ended the month with an inventory of 344. So let's take a look at the market conditions to see what's going on there. I like to use both the monthly supply of inventory method and the sales to new listing ratio, as it gives a bit more of a complete picture of what's going on in the market. So when using the monthly supply of inventory method, we came in at 4.04, which puts us into neutral market territory, but just on the border of seller market. If we use the sales to new listing ratio instead, we come in at 42%, which is also a neutral territory, but this time bordering on buyer's market. Now let's jump over and take a look at the active inventory. So last month we had a big spike in new inventory, rising 39% month over month for new listings, sales rose from 66 up to 78, which is a 16% increase. Expireds fell from 27 down to 22. And the benchmark price for a home rose, $11,300 from $647,000 to $658,300. Now let's jump over and take a look at the end of month inventory. So last month we ended the month with an inventory of 344, which is within 1% of the 10-year average. However, that is the most amount of inventory for this time of the year, going back all the way until 2016. If we jump over and take a look at new listings year to date, so far we've had 445, which is about 6% below the 10-year average of 475. If we take a look at the sales instead, so far this year, we've only had 204 sales, which is the slowest start in a decade, and that is 28% below the 10-year average of 258. So it's a rough start to the year. Now let's jump over and take a look at the average sale price. So in the vast majority of areas, prices are down. However, when looked at in aggregate, the total price decrease is only about 2.5%, so it is holding in fairly well. Currently, the most expensive areas of town are Sun Peaks, Tobiano, and Knutsford, all with an average sale price of $1 million or more, whereas the cheapest areas of town are North Cam, McClure, and Paul Lake, with an average sale price ranging between $567 down to $395. Now, let's take a look at the sales to list price ratio. All this is what percentage are properties selling compared to the list price. So it's a good proxy for how much negotiating room there is when you are on the buying side. And last month, we came in at 97.93, which is the second highest rating over the last 12 months, meaning that there isn't very much negotiating room when you are on the buying side. And as you can see, we kind of troughed down there in November, and then we've been on a straight shot up. So in terms of prices, things are getting tighter. Now let's take a look at sales by sub area. Once again, these are measured year over year, so a full year compared to a full year. And when you do that, sales are actually up, which might seem weird considering how bad of a year we're off to, but because you're measuring a full year over a full year, sometimes you can end up with these anomalies. Back in 2022, we had a real dry spell there when they started raising rates. So anyway, that's all that is, but it seems to be a mixed bag across the board when it comes to what areas are selling quite well and which ones are slowing down. So if you would like to take a closer look, feel free to pause. I'm going to move on to average days on market, starting off with the 10-year. So far, it's taken an average of 53 days for single-family dwellings to sell, which is about 2% or 1 day above the 10-year average of 52. However, when we look at the trailing 12 months instead, we see a much different story. In March, the average days on market was only 40 days, falling all the way from 63 in February, which is a massive drop, as you can see by the chart there. And we actually came in 18% below the trailing 12-month average of 49. finally, let's take a look at properties by sub-area. Once again, these changes are year over year again, so full year over full year. And when we look at it that way, properties are taking about 13% longer to sell. Currently, the fastest selling areas of town are Westmont, Brock, Rayleigh, and North Cam, all with an average days on market of 40 or less, whereas the areas taking longest to sell are Monty Lake, Sun Peaks, and Campbell Creek, ranging anywhere between 116 to 136 days. That's all we have for today. As always, I hope that you guys are continuing to get value out of these market updates. If you are, consider liking and subscribing to my channel. And if you ever have any suggestions on things you would like added or more thoroughly explained in these videos, please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below, and I will respond as soon as I'm able. Thanks for watching.